Okay, we're live. All right, we are a little coming to you late, but that's okay because this is really meant to be more of a recording. I'm here with the coaches, and every week we actually are working on the YFP weekly email update, and we were just actually rewriting the kind of the intro of the email that you guys are going to be getting on Sunday, which talks about the YFP work schedule. And we thought, it'd be better if we could just make a quick little video to show you guys actually kind of the essence of this. So, one of the most rewarding things about having your own network marketing business is that you are your own boss. And it's also one of the greatest challenges because there's no one telling you what it is that you need to do. So when you don't have that structure, it's really easy to feel disorganized. In a traditional work environment, you're normally given a work schedule over which you have no say. In your business, though, you have the freedom to choose when you work. The key is having a system to help you accomplish that so that you still have the freedom, because that's why we call it the Freedom Project, to work when you want to work and where you want to work and how you want to work. But we still got to work. So the challenge I tend to see a lot is people feel lost because there's a lot of bits and pieces to the business. They can't quite visualize how to put it all together. So a work calendar can be a great tool to help you stay on track and give your business the time needed to grow while still living your life. So if that's you, you may love it using the YFP work schedule. And we created this tool to help you and your builders visualize how to work the business into your existing schedule. So this week at a glance template shows you recurring training and marketing events. Basically, it allows you to block out the events that you want to attend. So you can fill in your own events, for example, non-negotiable items like your job, school, or church services. And once you've completed that, you can easily build all the activities into your preferred calendar app or tool. So again, this is a template that you first build out what it is that you're going to do. And then you can just put in those recurring events into your calendar, and you probably won't use this template much after that. And all you need to do really is just go ahead and download it to your hard drive. So save it to your documents, then it's editable. You can then type in your things as we're about to show you, and then use that for that. So let's go ahead, and I'm with the coaches now. Kristen, if you could share your screen. So I actually built this tool for my coaching clients for mastermind coaching because I wanted to be able to figure out with them, when are you actually going to be able to build your business? Because I would ask them, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve? So that I can see how am I going to help you get there? And one of the ways I needed to do that is decide, so how many hours a week can you allocate towards your business, honestly? And then we would have to look at, well, when are we going to actually make that work based on your job and things like that? So if you go to page 2, Kristen, we will notice here, these are the kind of activities that you will fill in. So if we go down, you'll see you're going to want to start by filling in the times that you can't work on your business project, and then you'll fill in the times that you can. And we're going to fill in these time blocks. So prospecting activities, marketing events, personal development activities, team building activities, and operational activities. Okay, so let's go to page, for you is 5, because Kristen is in Mountain Time. Now I realize, again, this is just a template. You could also, by the way, just build this out in OneNote and make your own little table or an Excel spreadsheet. You don't have to use what we have here, but you got the idea. So if we start off with looking at, okay, so what is YFP already offering for you? So we've got things like when the weekly email shows up on Sunday, and our content power hours training, even the Shackley event, the Mission Possible event, and things like that. So the first thing that I want to do is have Kristen block out, okay, when are the things that are the non-negotiables? So let's go ahead and just type that in, Kristen, so that she's got some school times that she has to be busy for that. She can't do her business on those times. Again, these are times she cannot work her business. So we're going to block all those out. And then we've said that she's working from 12 to 3 every day. So she just goes and fills that out. And again, you can see some of, like, for example, the Marketing Monday takes up that slot. She might not normally be able to actually attend live. So this just kind of helps us as a guide. Okay, again, this is a starter guide you buy, not a stick to beat you with. So, for a brand new builder, we also have to keep in mind this. they may be overwhelmed very easily. And we want them to know, listen, maybe this is just the one day you can work your business. Like this is like all you can do, and that's okay. And that'll, make them feel great. So do not, get too excited with them and overload things if they're not really sure they can handle all that. Okay, so we've kind of blocked in our work times. And then we've said that we talked a little bit about, I think we should mention this too, Kristen, is what was the way we discussed who should attend the Mission Possible event? There are some people who shouldn't quite yet. And what did we talk about that? The Fabulous Five kind of gave us that.
Fab Five. So Robin and
Maureen
and Mary and Debbie and Elena. I almost forgot.
Yeah, don't want to forget Elena.
Can't forget Elena. Yeah. We were talking about that, and with a new person coming on, I mean, the Mission Possible can be quite overwhelming really quickly. And so what Robin was sharing was that, the first call to have them on is your team call. Because the idea with the team call is you have your Mission Possible, and then your team call, you as the leader can distill out the important tidbits. And then share that with your team where it's not overwhelming. Because, I mean, all of us have been on Mission Possible, and sometimes, even I get overwhelmed, and I've been on it for many, many years. So you could just imagine what a new person's going to be going through. So that was kind of our thought on that. And then when they're ready and can start to distill that information on their own, then sure, bring them on.
And the other thing we were saying is that a new builder, we want them to be hyper focused on getting people to the grand opening or the tour. So if that person's not a fit, because remember, not everybody's a fit for the grand opening. Grand openings are designed for more your inner circle. So if you're going to have people that you want to, explore the business opportunity who don't fit in the grand opening, then the business tour is where that's at, or a product tour or whatnot. So we want to make sure that your brand new people have very little to think about other than bringing people to the party that you can work with them on, and then as well coming to your team events. So let's go ahead and write in when your team event is. And Kristen actually moved, Kristen and her upline Peggy moved from a Monday morning to a Friday evening. And that way, so Monday wasn't quite so busy. And that way, Friday is more like a follow-up Friday. Maybe just share that one.
Yeah, we'll just share the idea on that. So the whole idea, we would have our Monday call right at 11, my time. So right after Mission Possible, we're jumping onto the other call. And then it was just all these things happening on Monday. And then it felt like the rest of the week, it was you kind of on your own. So we talked about it for a while and said, why don't we do something on Friday that then gives us a little pick me up just before the weekend, carries us through the weekend until we get to Monday. And then we can talk about some of the things that have happened that week before we go into the weekend and it all falls out of our head.
And also, a 7 o'clock slot may be a little better for people that are going to work. And there's no YFP stuff there. It's just kind of like, grab your glass of wine or whatever, and, or your smoothie. Whatever that might be, and have some bonding. Okay, so now we've figured out her time blocks. You don't need to go into explaining necessarily every training, but you could. This is also an easy way to say, okay, maybe let's just zoom in the calendar a wee bit, Kristen. And you may take the time and say, okay, so what is Marketing Monday, right? Why would you want to attend that? If they could, obviously if they're at work, then no. But the other thing we want to then look at is, let's talk about operations. This isn't an income producing activity, but it's got to get done. And if we go back to page 2, let's look at what are some operational type activities. So you can see it's things like setting up your Shackley order, your loyalty order, planning and strategy, bookkeeping, communicating with VAs, and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to get done, the necessary evils of the business. So let's go back to your page 5. And then Kristen had decided that she's going to do her operational activities on Sunday. She's got her coffee, nobody's bugging her. And that's when she gets those things out of the way. Now, remember, nobody's your boss, right? So if operations, Kristen had something come up, she couldn't get it done on a Sunday, well, she'll make it up on a Thursday if she chooses to, or whatever. But it's because one of the first comments we had from people was, I can't be that sort of restricted or whatever. But I will say this: you will notice if you really want something badly in life, like getting your paycheck from work, you tend to show up when you got to show up. So it is possible to find structure and stick to it if you really want it. However, if you're just making this business a little bit more on the fun side of things, then it's up to you. You do whatever you want whenever you want. Nobody's going to hold you to this unless you've asked them to hold your feet to the fire. So Kristen's got her operations in place. So now what we want to look at is her marketing. And when are we going to, for example, she's creating content. So Kristen does a podcast. When is she going to maybe actually create that podcast? When would she publish the podcast? So she records it on a Saturday. She publishes it on a Thursday. And some of you, now in Kristen's case, what she wants to do is then take her podcast and pop that into her blog, right? And then distribute it into her YouTube or not YouTube, but whatever podcasting syndications or apps she, where it lives, basically, whether it's just an iTunes or whatever. So yeah, can't forget to distribute that content. So whether you're creating, if you're into YouTube or you're loving podcasting or you just want to write and do blogs, whatever it is, or it's your FaceTimes for live streams for your TV show that you do maybe on a whatever, or if you're doing health chats, whatever you're doing, pick a time that you're going to regularly do that and try your best to hold yourself to that so people will know when to show up, when to expect you to go live. Okay, so now you can see, all right, so when does Kristen have left over to do some inviting? Now, one thing that I would mention as well, I would type this in, Kristen, is when are you going to promote the Work at Home show and the Wellness Wednesday show? You want to get people attending that. Well, for her, Prospecting Power Hour is perfect. That's when she can promote Work at Home and invite that. And then the same thing could be done, maybe 3 o'clock is also her Wellness Wednesday time when she's going to remember, oh, yeah, got to make sure I get a couple people to attend with me. That's the big goal. That's the beautiful thing, right? We put on the event, or your upline puts on the event. Your job is just to make sure people come to the event. Mm-hmm. So the last thing would be prospecting. Now, in Kristen's case, for me, basically, prospecting kind of ends at 9, unless you're just maybe messaging someone you really know well or something like that. But 9 is sort of the end. So I would basically say 7 to 9. So we know 7 is when you start. So prospecting, and I would definitely do that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. She's got her call then. I don't really honestly like to do any prospecting on a Friday. I want to do networking. That's when you're going to go bowling. That's when you're going to do stuff. And maybe mention that too, Kristen, because some people feel like, oh, now that I'm doing my business, I got to stop doing all the things that I love to do so I can go crazy on my business. But I think that maybe isn't the way. Talk to us about that one gal you mentioned.
No, absolutely. Because the things that you go do, like the bowling, I work with someone who plays tennis, and she's in quite the league. And so that is where she's meeting people. That's where she's building relationships with people. You need those interactions. And so don't, and here's the cool thing. So say you're networking and talking business. We just did a tax webinar.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah. I know entertainment doesn't work so much, but say after you meet them for a coffee, there's a tax write-off for you.
I think you just did a Peter laugh, by the way.
Probably. Yeah. And so, utilizing those things to keep your presence, because our whole business is built on human connection. And right. So if you cut those pieces out, you're not building the human connection. So keep your tennis, keep your bowling, keep your, archery, keep your whatever activity you're doing that's in a group, art class, or maybe you do a painting thing once a week. I know someone who does a painting class every week. Keep those, because that's your gateway to people.
So you might want to come next Thursday and see if you can write off your tennis shoes.
I don't think you can, because that would be entertainment, but
yeah, probably not.
But say you guys all meet for coffee afterwards and you're talking about business, or you meet for, after tennis, I'm usually one for, activity like that. I want to go for donuts.
Yeah.
But
there you go. That's perfect. So, again, this is not meant to be something that, it kind of locks you in a stone. And I think, Maura, you've got a very busy life. You're scooting here, scooting there. Could you just share quickly your thought when you see something like this, that it may first feel like, oh my God, I can't see myself locking in at times. Share with us your thought patterns when you see something like this, and how can you embrace it?
Yes, thanks, Jody. I actually love it because of the fact that my life is so haphazard in a way.
Right.
And the fact is that, it's pretty hectic, and things could happen. Things pop up and it's time to go do something when you had something else planned. But it can also be printed out and used as a kind of a ongoing calendar. Like I have, I have, like everyone else, I use my Google Calendar. I have the electronic tools and I rely on them, and I rely on the alerts and all that. But I do like the schedule, because it helps me know, maybe when I want to go in and personalize my email and put a special message, or just, and I don't have to do it in the computer.
Right.
I could do the big things in the computer, but I could also print one out and have it kind of scratch on it as the week goes by.
And you just,
something
that's
didn't
perfect.
work, and then I can leave it in the bathroom, or leave it stuck to the mirror in the bathroom, or somewhere else that isn't in a computer.
And I think we hear a lot, like, when's your event? And if you just have that on the wall, it just reminds, oh yeah, that's right, every Wednesday there's that thing, or every this day there's that thing, calendar or not. Share your screen again if you could, Kristen, and let's just show when would we do. I'm glad Maura just said that, and that is, when are you going to personalize the email? Because we show in there when the email goes in the queue, which is going to be Wednesday. Actually, it shows 7 a.m., but honestly, it'll be in whatever your time zone is at 9 a.m. So if your time zone is set to Mountain, it'll actually be 9, not 7. But so it's in the queue then, and that's why Kristen wrote personalize her email at 7 for hers when she chose. She's an early bird on Saturday. So then you've got all weekend to do that, because it's going to then send the following Wednesday, just so you guys kind of saw that. So I'm glad you said that. Thanks so much for that, Maura. I think we pretty much covered it. Hey, gang, was there anything else that we could add to this? I think we've nicked off all the check boxes.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. I think the big thing to remember with this is this isn't, like Jody said, it's not a stick to beat you with. This just gives you that layout for on a general week. This is what's coming, and then you have, there's going to be things that you'll have to shift around, which happens, but it's just to give you a general guideline of what a week looks like for you.
Right. And we'll have another follow-up YFP 101 where Kristen's going to show you guys how to create recurring events in your Google Calendar. And maybe we should do one with Maura where she can show it using iCal, because I think you're an iCal gal, am I right? Or are you Google Calendar?
I'm actually a Google Calendar user. Yeah.
Because you got iCal, so maybe you could show it.
I do have it. Yes, I could possibly show it.
Maybe
might get Bonnie's help with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Sam a Macker?
Do you use iCal too, or do you use Google Calendar?
Yeah, I use my iCalendar.
I mean, obviously putting it on a hard copy is easy peasy. You just copy notes into there. But if you're using a calendar app, perfect with that. So with that, thanks so much for watching, everyone. We appreciate you guys so very much. Have a great weekend, and enjoy the YFP work schedule, and good luck with your coaching.